Mortgage Zac here, and I'm with Sean Shoemaker,
Hey.
Realtor, and today we're talking about how to buy your first home. So Sean, thank you for being on this video with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're actually here in your beautiful home recording this, and
Glad you're here.
wanted to thank you for agreeing to do this. And when I first brought up the idea of a video, you immediately said you wanted to make it about the first-time home buyer. So
Yeah.
why was that your first thought?
That's a good question. The first-time home buyer, they're my favorite buyer. You've never bought a home. It can sometimes feel really intimidating, and it's extremely exciting seeing people, reach a goal in something that they've been thinking about sometimes for decades. And being a part of that is incredibly satisfying. I love that part of my job, and I know working with you and doing that, you love that as well. So it just made sense. And in the current market, I feel like a lot of our first-time home buyers, they need to be given the advantage as much as possible, and this video will help you have that.
Yeah, definitely. We want to talk about being positive. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
takes a little bit of, emotional consistency to buy your first home, I think.
It does. There's definitely very clear steps of what it takes to buy a home, and there's really clear, options with loans, but, above all of that, maintaining positivity and just awareness of how you feel during the process is going to be critical to getting you to, across that finish line and having your home.
So another thing that we should discuss for the first-time home buyer is don't make assumptions. There's a lot of things that hold people back from buying a home.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. One of those is, don't make assumptions about your own eligibility. When you work to get pre-approved, if you have concerns around eligibility, Zac is able to come up with a path to get you pre-approved. He will very carefully say you need to pay off these cards, or you need to get your credit score up this amount, and give you a path and even a timeline. The other thing too, though, is I wouldn't operate from a place of fear. Assumptions usually have some fear attached to it, so don't be scared to dive in and make those offers and have that hesitancy. When you move forward, as long as the home is making sense for what your current and future needs are, then you can move with confidence and know that you're getting a good product.
Yeah, and overall, I think anybody should reach out to a loan officer and reach out to me specifically.
Yeah.
and make a plan, because I think even if home ownership's 10 years away from you, you may talk to me and find out that it could be possible in a year, or even if it is 10 years away, both you and me are better off if we have a plan in writing and you know what to do beforehand, rather than just all of a sudden you're ready to buy a home.
As an agent, a lot of people come to us and they have this really carefully crafted hope and dream of what their home is, and I've witnessed some of that disappointment that they may have. But what I have found is that when you talk to the loan officer and you just ask, what do I need to do? The loan officer will tell you what you need to do. And I've had people who were definitely not able to buy a home make some really major life changes that benefited them in being able to buy a home. And those life changes had even bigger impacts elsewhere. So it's definitely a process, ask the questions, don't make the assumptions, and have some optimism with it. You can buy a home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people have a fear about the ability to win a home in today's market. They may think they need cash over appraisal. They might think they need a lot of other things they don't need, but it can come down to the strengths of the loan officer and the real estate agent in winning a home. So if it's really competitive right now, and I'm a first-time buyer with not a lot of cash, what are some of the things that an agent and a loan officer together can do to help the first-time home buyer win?
That's a really good question. The first is we can talk about what can we do to take advantage of the loan package to help us combat some of these cash issues in the event that we have to go up and over appraisal. The other thing, though, is really talking about the house that you want to buy. I have noticed in the market, many people tend to, get obsessed with the exact same house, and so you have a hyper competitive situation. Meanwhile, you have the secondary stealth house on the side, and we can be focusing on that, and with a little bit of paint, it becomes the house that you wanted in the first place. So be strategic on the inventory that you choose to put your time into, and then Zac and I work very closely with each other on each house to craft the offer that we're going to put in.
And an agent like Sean that's working hard for your interests, he might even find an off-market property or something. Where you're not even competing with a lot of offers, and you win the home that you loved without having to do anything crazy and do the limbo.
At the end of the day, a home is only going to sell if it's a fair deal for everybody. And so I'm a part of different groups that allow me to identify and find off-market homes, and I even cold call. I've definitely cold called a lot
Yep.
for off-market properties, and I've had it work out.
Yeah. And again, on the loan officer side of things, I'll try to back Sean up. So if you put in an offer, I'm invested. I want you guys to win the home you like as well. So I'll go the extra mile and I'll contact the selling agent and I'll let them know how strong your pre-approval is and that we're going to close it on time and hit on whatever points are that the seller's really interested in to make sure that they feel like you have a competitive advantage over those. So having both sides that are invested in your best interest makes all the difference in the world. I've had an offer accepted recently, and they said it was because of my phone call,
awesome.
Reassuring them. And I know that as you put in an offer, what you say to the sellers makes all the difference as well.
It's very true. A big part of an offer being accepted is not always the price. Sometimes it is the agent's confidence that the other agent and that the loan officer actually have what it takes to get the deal done. And so, when your loan officer is able to speak clearly about how qualified you are and really go to bat for you, and when your agent is able to do the same, we have a higher chance at getting you into the home. It's not always about the price. Not every homeowner is going to accept the highest and best offer, even if they ask for it. That doesn't always mean purchase price. There's a lot more to a contract than just that purchase price, and you can be competitive.
Yeah, you might not even offer the highest price, but if you allow the person to stay in the home after closing for 30 or 60 days, that might be the reason why they let you buy their home.
Especially right now with all the supply chain issues impacting new construction, a lot of people are upgrading into new construction and they need that window. And that window will mean them getting their next home that they spent the last 10 or 12 months building. So don't underestimate the other conditions of the contract and make an assumption that you can only compete on price. While that is a big part, it is not the only part.
Yep. There's a lot of ways that we can get creative and help you win your first home.
If you learned something from this video, please share it with a friend that might also enjoy it. If you didn't learn something, please leave a comment and tell us what questions we can answer for you.